But the times got hard, and tobacco wasn't selling, and old man didn't do what he'd do to survive. Well, they went and dug for hot and cold and sent the money back to Granny. Oh, but he never left Harlan alive. Where the sun comes up about 10 in the morning and the sun goes down.
So, hello everybody. Welcome to the Red Clay Music Foundry. Thank you so much for being here. It's such an honor that you chose to fight the COVID and fight all the stuff and be here with us in person. That is a really cool thing. You're safely distanced, I can see, which is, I'm going to ask you to remain that way, please. You can take your mask off at your seat. If you get up and go back to the lobby, that's my friends, the Norfolk Southern. They're my best friend. I hear them 27 times every 24 hours. It's just a lovely thing. And they go fast, though. You really feel your seat shake more than you hear them while the music's going. Because once the PA's on, you don't really hear the horn. It just goes, zing, right by. But thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed your pregame show. There's about 6 or 8 or 10 or 12,000 songs there on our EOP Live YouTube station, and it doesn't cost anything. You can go and just watch song after song after song after song, and I'd encourage you to do that and send a smoke signal to your friends and neighbors and share it with them. That'd be great as well. In fact, this show is being live streamed this evening, and if you want to send a smoke signal to somebody right now that couldn't be here, tell them they can watch right along with you. And that would be lovely if you'd like to do that. Don't forget, if you get up and go to the bar, which we encourage because Uber and Lyft will pick you up at our front door. We do encourage drinking. So please remember that. Put your mask back on. That's all I ask. That'd be just lovely. These are not my rules, but they're rules we all need to adhere to while they're rules. So there you go. It'll hopefully keep me open. Also, it's a great moment for me to say hello to you folks watching at EOP Live on YouTube. We're glad to have you today. Thank you so much. You'll notice at the top of your screen, the first thing you see is a link to PayPal, and that would just be lovely. Shawnee will not be upset if y'all tip a lot of money this evening, so just plan on it. We're also on Shawnee's Space Face Place, and we're on the EOP Live Space Face Place, so we're all over. We just got streams going everywhere. So if you can't be here with us, then thank you for tuning in. We appreciate that. Shawnee and I have known each other since we were a lot younger than we are now, and I am just tickled pink that I have been able to have him endure my friendship for all these years. I think he was about a senior in high school at Clarkston High School when I met him, and I was a very young man, and we are neither of those things right now. So, but I don't know that I've had any artist friend that I've seen work harder, persevere as long, be as diligent with his discipline, and be as talented as Shawn Mullins. And there are some of those that you just meet, and when they're young, you just know that. You sort of see it in their eye, and you sort of just know, this guy's got it. He's got the ingredients. And I really feel that way about Shawn, and I'm honored to be his friend. And I'm honored that he played this month of Sundays for us. And I know you're going to love it, so just kick back and enjoy it. Sound like you're about 1,000 people right now. And give a nice welcome to Shawn Mullins.
Great to see you guys. Thanks for coming out to the live audience tonight. This is wonderful to see as many people as we've got in here. We're socially distanced, and I think we're all safe. And yeah, you guys look safe. Trying, yeah. Let me greet some folks here real quick. Pete Upton, thank you for tuning in. Cama Fletcher and Tom Fletcher, those guys are some old friends of ours. Thank you guys. Diane Hanks and Carol, thank you. Robert, thank you so much. Sal from Buffalo, New York. I bet it's cold up there. Dorothy, thank you so much. And checking in from Iowa is Mary. And Western Mass, Deborah Ann. So from time to time during the show, I'll just say hey to some of these Facebook folks. Let them know I know they're there. Got some good healthy tea here. No whiskey tonight, just tea.
How's Daisy May?
Daisy May's doing great. She's side stage right now, and she's. Do you? Daisy's a great name, and you know, there's a lot of old songs with Daisy in the title too. There's Daisy May, of course, and then there's Bicycle Built for Two, which my grandmother used to sing to me when I was a little bitty kid, and I was wondering the other day, where did she get, I mean, obviously she heard that song probably a long time, because it talks about you can't afford a carriage, you know, and all that. I'm saying, okay, that's an old song, you know, it's like late 1800s. And I looked it up on the YouTube, and the first artist I came to for this Daisy song with Bicycle Built for Two was Dinah Shore. And I thought, because my grandmother would watch the Dinah Shore show every day. And when I was a little bitty, and I sat there on the floor playing with my blocks and stuff, and I would watch on with her. And she was a heck of a singer, man. I didn't really remember that, but what a great singer she was. All right, let me plug this thing in. Shalom, you all ready for the electronics to happen? All right. Well, I met him on the cliffs of Twin Rocks, Oregon. He was sitting on his bedroll looking just like Richard Brodigan, and I thought he was an old man, what, but 37. He said he'd been riding trains for 15 years and drawing portraits to keep his belly full of beers. It looked to me like he died and missed the plane to heaven. But he's a nice old guy for a younger man. He had a bottle of Mad Dog he held tightly in his hand. And he waved it around a lot, trying to make his point. And I listened as he told his tales of wine and women, county jails. We finished off that bottle and smoked a half a joint. And he said, I came here to watch the sun disappear into the ocean. It's been years since I smelled the salty sea. He turned his bottle up and down. I saw him lost and I saw him found. And he said, I don't know what I've been looking for. Maybe me. Well, I told him I too had been traveling around, just living out of my van from town to town to town, playing for tips and whatever records and cassette tapes I could move. I said, I don't reckon I'll be making it big, man. It's hard to get rich off a tour of coffee house gigs. He said, yeah, buddy, but ain't it a blessing to do what you want to do? Yeah, and I told him, yes, I pull out to watch the sun disappear into the ocean. It's been years since I smelled the salty sea. And we turned another bottle up and down. He saw me lost and he saw me found. And I said, I don't know what I've been looking for. Maybe me. said it's getting kind of late. I better be heading down this interstate. Can I give you a lift? I'm headed to San Francisco Bay. He said, nope, I think I'm gonna sit right here and rest. Maybe wait on the Tokyo, Montana Express. I might just lay here and dream my life away. I'm gonna sit right here and watch the sun disappear into the ocean. It's been years, my Lord, now. It's been years. I'm gonna turn my bottle up and down. You can see me lost. You can see me found. Well, I met him on the cliffs of Twin Rocks, Oregon. He was sitting on that bedroll looking just like Richard Brodigan. Just like him. Thank you. Thanks so much. Oh, it's so good to see you. Good to be playing out live. It's been a long time since I did this, and it feels really good for me to get out and be able to make some music live. I love doing it in the house too, but this is special. Sounds like a Miller Lite opening. I know that sound from anywhere. Davis Causey, my guitar player, he's been trying to get an endorsement from Miller Lite for about 55 years. Well, I just want to light you up, light you up like a fire. I just want to turn you on and take you high. Everybody's got a flat screen. Everybody's gotta be seen. Everybody wanna be famous. Ain't nobody gonna blame us. Everybody wants the real deal. Everybody wants to cop a good feel. Everybody want more money. Everybody wants a taste of your honey. I just want to light you up, light you up, baby, like a fire. I just want to turn you on, and take you high. Everybody wants to pick your guitar, and everybody wanna ride in that fast car. Everybody wants a puff of your pipe dream. Everybody wanna lick of your ice cream. Yeah, the preacher wanna tell you how to live right. Your mama and your daddy got you uptight. Your lover gonna go and pick another fight. I just wanna keep you up all night. I just want to light you up like a fire, like a fire, like a fire. I just want to turn you on, turn you up and take you higher. Yeah, this old world can bring you down and turn your smile into a frown, break your heart and make you sad, and drive you stark, raving mad. But I just want to light you up, light you up like a fire. I just want to turn you on, and take you higher. And I just want to light you up like a fire. I just want to turn you on and take you high. Thank you. Yeah, thank you guys. We have a virtual tip jar tonight for if you see that online out there. You guys, of course, don't need to worry about that. You paid real good money to come in here tonight. Thank you for that, by the way. It sure does mean a lot. But those of you watching at home, if you like what you're hearing, there's a virtual tip jar there. We've got PayPal and Venmo going. Nikki Allen from Austin, thank you so much. Pete Upton, good to see you. Hey, Tony Hewlett. So glad you guys are watching from Washington. Victoria, Australia. All right, very cool, very cool. Kathy in Philly. And let's see, Michelle in Missouri and Brad in Ohio. And yeah, Northern California. We got Texas watching. So cool, man. I love it. Thank you guys. And John Lyman, my old buddy in Australia, says good day to all. Are you having brekkie right now, John? I hope you are, my friend. It's breakfast time right there in Queensland. He's a good dude. He promoted some shows for me last time I was down under, and what a great guy John is. Can't wait to hopefully get back there at some point. I really need to get back down there and get back out touring, but it just ain't the right time quite yet, is it? But hopefully not too long. Another one off of Soul's Core. Also want to take a minute and thank my weekly sponsor for my live streams, Live at the Print Shop. These guys are so cool. Have y'all checked them out yet? Have y'all YouTubed that? It's really a great concert series. Comes out of here, Kennesaw, Georgia. And my buddy Adam owns a print shop, and he also does this concert series right out of his home. And it's really, really well done. They had Collective Soul on there, and Ed Roland did a solo thing as well. Angie Aparo. There's been a bunch of folks on there. I love the show I did. I typically don't like my own concert footage. If I see it or hear it or whatever, I'm like, oh man, that looks terrible, or it sounds terrible. I didn't do a good job or whatever. This one really turned out well. So check it out. It's on YouTube. You can subscribe. Live at the Print Shop. They're really good to me every week. and sponsoring this live stream. Maria lays in the tanning bed. She reads the Tuesday news. She's down here every week at the same time with the same old blues. She reads the funny papers and then the classifieds. And if she ain't too sleepy, there's a weather report on the flip side. 'Cause this Kansas life, it's a hard one for a girl from Miami. You're just staring out at the oil fields, and that's all that I can see. Her old man's in the same place since the company let him go. Just sipping on the Pabst Blue Ribbon and cussing Amico. Maria drives home from the tanning bed. The black clouds roll across the sky. And she pulls into the trailer park and pops the trunk and calls the kids outside. And she said, there's a twister coming, yeah. And you hadn't got a clue, you. And I ain't gonna sit here in this double wide and wait around for you. No, 'cause I'm taking the microwave oven, and I'm taking the color TV, and I'm packing up the Chevy with the kids and what's left of me. What's left? This Kansas life, it's a hard one for a girl from Miami. You're just staring out at the oil fields. Used to be cornfields. It's all that I can see. Thanks. Thank you, sir. Thank you, guys. Appreciate that. Hey, I want to thank Bless Your Heart Peanut Brittle. They've been tipping every week. Thank you, guys. Y'all from Texas. That's so cool. I got to get y'all my address. I want to get a little bit of that peanut brittle, too. Also, Cynthia Lemons is tipped tonight. Thank you, Tony, also, of course. You're so good to us. Sean Erickson and Kama Fletcher, thank you. Bryn Hawthorne, thanks, buddy. Lori Snyder and Mary Fellon. Thank you, guys. Thanks so much for tipping. Book of Mormon reader, San Bernardino, California. Okay, right on. We were Mormons for a little while when I was a kid, a couple of years. My dad, when I was a kid, we played musical religions, like people would play musical chairs. every couple of years. But one of my very first memories is going to see at the Georgia Tech basketball, the dome there, the basketball arena. We went to see the Maharishi, and this is probably about 1970 or 71. And that's one of my very first memories of riding my dad's shoulders. And I don't remember a whole lot about his talk, but I remember a little bit about just the experience of it. After that, we were Mormons for a couple of years. My dad ended up running off with the Presbyterian minister's the preacher's wife at one point. This is true. I wish I was joking around, but we were Presbyterians, and that, you know, almost broke up two families with that one. Did I? Yeah, I wrote kind of a poem years ago, but hey, thanks Dalby and Zach Beal. You guys are so cool. Dalby's a great singer-songwriter, a young singer coming up right out of Georgia here. John Nunley, Hindsight Life. Michelle Lapovich, Mary Felon, Diane Hicks. E. Rache. I hope I've got these names. Sometimes I'll mess up a name. It might be Rach from Kingsborough, California, and Ellen Mays from Johnson City, Tennessee. Well, that's a beautiful part of Tennessee, I'll tell you what. All right, we'll get back to some music here. Fresh strings on. They sound nice, but they're moving around just a little bit. All right, here we go. I wrote this in the Floribama parking lot in 1997. I was going down there for a festival they have every year called the Frank Brown Songwriters Festival. My old buddy Larry John Wilson had invited me down. And I'd played the festival, and I was just about to leave, and the storm broke out, and I decided to journal a little bit, and this kind of fell out. She cooks him ham and hoe cakes, 5:30 every morning. And she does the dishes, she irons his uniforms. And she thinks she might have loved him once. That was so long ago. And the rain pours down like a holy waterfall over the Gulf of Mexico. The boardwalk's deserted, the beach is all closed down. Yeah, the middle school punk rockers, they ride their skateboards through the town. And she looks back and she daydreams about things and people she ain't never seen, just to keep from being blue. And she gets home about 3:45, drives her brother to the liquor store down on Perdido Avenue. I'm parked on the state line on this cold November day. Pretty soon I'll be a driving fool somewhere down old Hank's lost highway. Then I hear a voice from my soul's core saying, freedom's just a metaphor, you know you got nowhere to go, oh yeah. You got nowhere, boy. And the rain pours down like a holy waterfall over the Gulf of Mexico. Over the Gulf of Mexico. Over the Gulf of Mexico. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. Hadn't done this one in a few shows. Eddie, before he came out, he was playing Daryl Scott on piano, and Daryl plays here, and just a wonderful, it doesn't get any better than Daryl Scott. If you guys don't know about him, he's actually also got a show on the Live at the Print Shop. Check that out, it's amazing. Daryl's written so many big country hits, really good ones too, like Long Time Gone, and what's that one that it did, Travis Tritt did, It's a Great Day to Be Alive. He evidently wrote that one when his back went out, and he had made a pot of soup, and then something happened and he threw his back out. I don't know how, but he was laying on the kitchen floor and he couldn't move. And so he came up with that song during that time. He's really talented. And my favorite of his is You'll Never Leave Harlan Alive. And Eddie was playing that, or Shalom, I should say, was playing that over the sound system right before the show here tonight. And I don't know of a better coal mining type song. There's a bunch of them out there. Most of them are really old, kind of from that era, but he wrote a humdinger when he wrote that one. This is one I love too, and this is by Jean Ritchie, and she wrote this, I believe, back in the 1950s. And she was a coal miner's daughter and became a professional songwriter. And I heard this first on a Johnny Cash record. I'm trying to remember the album. My dad had a lot of albums that he worked at Rich's department store downtown Atlanta, and also he had a railroad job at Southern Railway, but his second job was Rich's. He worked in the audio department, and anytime, whenever they got the promotional copy to play in the store, he would take it home. And so we had an incredible record collection. And so I heard this first on a Johnny Cash record, and then years later I heard it on a Michelle Shocked record. Just shows you a good song's a good song. When I was a curly-headed baby, my daddy set me down on his knee. He said, son, you go to school and you learn your letters. Don't you be no dusty miner boy like me. I was born and raised at the mouth of the Hazard Holler, where the coal carts rolled and rumbled past my door. Yeah, but now they stand in a rusty row, all empty, 'cause the L&N don't stop here anymore. Well, I used to think my daddy was a black man. He had script enough to buy the whole company store. Oh, but now he goes to town with empty pockets. Lord, his face is white as the February snow. I was born and raised at the mouth of the Hazard Holler, where the coal carts rolled and rumbled past my door. Yeah, but now they stand in a rusty row all empty, 'cause the yelling don't stop here anymore. No, no, no. Last night I dreamed I went down to the office to get my payday like I done before. Them old kudzu vines, they was growing right up through the doorway. There was leaves and grass growing right up through the floor. I was born and raised at the mouth of the Hazard Holler, where the coal carts rolled and rumbled past my door. Yeah, but now they stand in a rusty row, all empty, 'cause the yelling don't stop here anymore. Oh, I was born and raised at the mouth of the Hazard Holler, where the coal carts rolled and rumbled past my door. Oh, now they stand in a rusty row all empty, 'cause the yelling don't stop here anymore. No, the yelling don't stop here anymore. Said the yelling don't stop here anymore. Thank you. Yeah, Gene Ritchie, y'all. Hey, did I do that last week? I don't think I did. I missed some tips from last week. Carol Edwards and Jeffrey Zatofsky and Roger Steinhaver, Marlena Woodward, Catherine Pape, or Pepe, Pape, Kenneth Casher and Ted Landry, and one more here, two more, Brad Webb and Melanie Marshall. Last week I missed a few, so I want to make sure I thank those guys if you're watching tonight.
Tell them to tip again.
Yeah, tip again. Eddie says tip again. Julie says, Twin Rocks, I love it. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Shawn has a Venmo account now. It's at Rodeody. If you don't do PayPal, you can. This is someone's comment on here, by the way, and they're right. Brian Perry, hey, buddy. Remember Brian Perry, Eddie?
Oh, yeah.
Brian Perry says, hey, brother, sounding good for the soul, as always. Thank you. Thank you, my friend. And so nice to hear people's comments or read them. And Jordan, greetings from Scottsdale, Arizona. Got to see you at the City Winery in New York City, one of the best live shows I've seen. Well, that's very kind. Thank you for that. And Bob, thank you, Bob. All right. This one I wrote with my buddy Patrick Blanchard. We were in Portland, Oregon, and we had a few hours to kill. And I said, Patrick, I want to go down. We were playing the Aladdin Theater, and that's also a great venue. And it's a lot of these old theaters around the country that I play now. They started off as movie houses. Some of them were even vaudeville theaters, and then they were movie houses. But at some point or another, they usually turn into some type of adult theater. And the Aladdin Theater, they're always talking about, it should be an adult theater back in the 70s. But really cool music venue now, a lot like the Variety Playhouse here, kind of same kind of vibe. And my mom and dad used to go to the Euclid Theater, which is now the Variety Playhouse, and they'd go to movies together on dates when they were kids. But we were playing the Aladdin, and we had a little bit of time, and I said, Patrick, I want to go to Pioneer Square because that's where I used to play when I first came to Portland. I didn't have a proper gig really, and I used to try to play on the street corner, you know. And there's a thing there to do. You're really supposed to get a permit because there's a lot of people that do it in Portland. They've got it down. Like there's this one guy that wheels a piano out, you know, and another guy's like a one-man band. I mean, it's like a thing, you know. And so I didn't really know what I was getting into, but I would go there and play on the street whenever I could. It was fun. It was good for me to do too. You get better when you don't have any kind of sound system and you have to project and try to get people's attention. And I told Patrick, I said, man, I want to go get a corn dog on Pioneer Square there. They have the corn dog stand. I used to allow myself one corn dog because I was so broke, and I want to see if I run into this homeless guy named Frank. I wonder if he's still around. He's an old vet. And so we went and we found Frank. He wasn't hard to find. He was still on Pioneer Square doing his thing. He does sketches for people, kind of those caricatures, and he's been there since. I don't know that he's still around. I hope he's still with us. But this last time that we ran into Frank, he was getting on up there, and you know, living in that lifestyle. It's not the healthiest way to live. It's you know, a lot of times he's on the street. And it's for Frank, it was by choice. He had actually family that wanted to take him in, but he didn't like his family. And he really kind of wanted to remove himself to a degree from a lot of society. And I always found that fascinating. But he had great stories to tell, and he had fallen in love when he got out of the Army with a girl right there in downtown Portland. Her name was Maria, and she ran off with someone else, you know, and he got there in 1969, so he was still there back in 2008 or 2009, something like that. It was pretty incredible. Anyway, Patrick and I went back to the hotel room after the gig that night, and we wrote this tune down. Well, Frank don't mind the rain. It rains a lot there. Frank don't mind the rain. He kind of digs the sound. But Portland in November can sometimes get you down. When you're standing in a doorway trying to keep out of the cold. No one's looking your way. You got no bills to fold. Well, Frank, he don't like begging, but he could use a buck or two. Get a bed down at the mission, maybe sleep a whole night through, and dream about Maria, a girl that he once knew. We all need a little sunshine. We all need a little sunshine. Everybody needs a little sunshine. Too many days, dark and gray. We need a little sunshine. Frank touched down at Pioneer Square, June of '69. He thumbed here up the West Coast to get the war off of his mind. That's where he met Maria, and she made him feel so fine, singing, we all need a little sunshine. She was singing, we all need a little sunshine. Yes, she was. Everybody needs a little sunshine. Love was free, so was she. Hey, singing in the sunshine, sweet sunshine, yeah. Frank wakes up at sunrise. He hears a distant train. He finds a piece of cardboard in the alley by the drain. And he writes his message black and bold and remembers why he came here. We all need a little sunshine. We all need a little sunshine. Everybody needs a little sunshine. Can't take another day. Dark and gray, need a little sunshine. Little sunshine. We all need a little sunshine. Everybody needs a little sunshine. We all need a little sunshine. We all need it, babe. Everybody needs it. Well, Frank don't mind the rain. He kinda digs the sound. Thanks, y'all. Hey, we've got some, for those of you here tonight live at the Red Clay, we have some merchandise out there. My old friend Jerry's hawking our t-shirts and CDs for us. So we've got the COVID World Tour shirt out there and some other ones. So check that out if you're interested in going home with something to wear or a CD. I don't know if you guys have CD players even. I've still got one in my truck, but that's the only one. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you, Train. I love it how Eddie always has his venues really close to a railroad track. It's been that way since I can remember. Trackside Tavern was like that, and then Eddie's Attic's like that, and now the Red Clay. I love it. Tara Hill, thank you so much. And I don't know if that's Priya or Priya Joe from Denver. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. And here's one. Check this out. Shalom is a genius on the soundboard tonight. It really does say that, Shalom. I'm not making that up. He's probably recorded 50 Shawn shows in the Atlanta area, at least, right? Yeah, and thank you, Jason. not a joke, but can Shawn play some songs at my wedding in May? Hey, get in touch with us through Facebook. That's Jason Bryan. Yeah, I mean, I'm open to it. I have to kind of keep my distance, but I love playing a song or two at a wedding. I just have to kind of, mask up and kind of get away. But I'd love to do that. Just contact us on Facebook. Let's see. I guess that's all for now. Oh, here's some more tips. I hope y'all are bearing with me on this, and y'all are so kind to do that. I want to just make sure I thank people for tipping as well. Celeste and Jeffrey and Deidre, Steve and Teresa. And now it looks like Deidre and Steve tipped twice. I don't know if they really did, but thank you, even if you tipped once. Teresa Watson, thank you very much. John in Ohio. Yeah? All right, that's cool. Say hey to Barry in the audience. That's what he says. Is that you, Barry? Yeah. All right, there you go. Lee Marion's trucking through Salt Lake City, and he's tuning in. How cool is that, man? Keep on trucking there, Larry. Let's see what else we got. Marla Main, or Mean, Timothy O'Neill, and Amy Cecilia, and Celeste, and Thomas, and John Brown, and Lisa Padden, and Susan Daughter, Ted Landry, and Deidre Kelly, W. Bradley Vincent, and John Easton, and Michelle Dahlstrom, yes, that's it. Thank you, guys. Thank you for your kind, generous tips. It means so much right now. It's how I'm paying my bills, is doing these live streams, so I really appreciate it. And you guys tonight are helping so much by showing up. And because we musicians, a lot of us are on the road most of the time. And we'll go on tour, and there is no touring. So we're at home and twiddling the thumbs. So thank you guys for coming out tonight again. Yeah, give yourselves a hand. This one's, it kind of makes sense right now during this time. And I wrote it years before this whole COVID thing, but wrote it with my good friend Panda. Y'all know Panda? Plays bass with me. And we were Zooming last night. I was Zooming with the whole band. And we were just laughing and cutting up about everything, and we're going to try to figure out a way. Maybe we'll rent a gymnasium or something and have a band practice socially distanced and really spread out, you know? You can read it in the papers, watch it on the news. Everybody's got the pre-apocalyptic blues. You better be ready when the shit goes down. You gotta head on down to Costco, get you a bucket full of rice and beans, a year's supply of 2-ply for your composting latrine, so you'll be ready when the shit goes down. No, don't hesitate, don't procrastinate, or you'll all be running scared. There ain't no second chances for the bravery impaired, 'cause you know there's a couple of commies hiding underneath your bed, and the zombie's gonna eat up all the brains in your head. I got a Rambo knife with the compass on it and a ballistic bug-out bag. I got a AK-47, about 100 extra mags. I'm gonna be ready when the shit goes down. Well, I said I got about 1 billion red Chinese. You say you ain't worried, and I say, honky please, you better be ready an RPG. Got a Stinger missile mounted on my wife's SUV. They won't get to me, no matter who they are. I got landmines buried all over my yard, 'cause I read it in the papers, y'all, and I watched it on the news. Now I got the cryptic, pre-apocalyptic blues. I'm gonna be ready when the shit goes down. Will you be ready when the shit goes down? Oh no. Oh, y'all like that one? What's your favorite Western? Y'all got a favorite Western of all time? Western? Silverado. Really? That's a, see, man, I'm with you. Yeah, I love Shane, and as far as those heartwarming ones, Shane I like the best. And I like the shootist too. John Wayne's last, might have been his last film, or was it just his last Western? That was really good. Huh? Oh yeah, of course. There's a bunch of good ones, and of course I like those. I like the spaghetti westerns with Clint Eastwood. The Good, Bad, and the Ugly is hard to beat. The soundtrack alone of that one's incredible, unbelievable. I was listening to that one not too long ago, and just the arrangement and composition of that, it was crazy. Not just the whistling, but just the choices of instruments and voices and everything. Very cool. I love movies. I grew up watching movies. We would go about every weekend if we could. We went a lot of weekends, and we used to have the old silver screen here and another movie theater called the Screening Room, and they would both play older, way old films. And my dad was he grew up going to movies. He would ride the trolley, and he would go to movies all day long. And I don't know how he did it, but I think he snuck into most of them because they didn't have very much money. And but he became a huge movie buff early on, and passed it on to me, to where I really love him too. And our weekend thing, if we could, we would go to the Varsity, and then we'd go to a movie afterwards. My heart disease started when I was about 8 years old. Well, I woke up Sunday morning with no way to hold my head that didn't hurt. The beer I had for breakfast wasn't bad, so I had one more for dessert. Then I fumbled through my closet for my clothes and found my cleanest dirty shirt. And I shaved my face and I combed my hair. I stumbled down the stairs to meet the day. smoked my brain the night before. Cigarettes and songs that I've been picking. But I lit my first and I watched a small kid cussing at a can he was kicking. And I crossed the empty street and I caught the Sunday smell of someone frying chicken. And it took me back to something that I'd lost somehow, somewhere along the way. On the Sunday morning sidewalk, wishing, Lord, that I was stoned. 'Cause there's something in a Sunday makes a body feel alone. And there's nothing short of dying that's half as lonesome as the sound of the sleeping city sidewalk. And Sunday morning coming down. In the park I saw a daddy with a laughing little girl. He was swinging. And I stopped beside the Sunday school. I listened to the song they were singing. Then I headed back for home. And somewhere far away, a lonely bell was ringing. And it echoed through the canyon like the disappearing dreams of yesterday. On the Sunday morning sidewalk, wishing, Lord, that I was stoned. 'Cause there's something in a Sunday that makes a body feel alone. Oh, there ain't nothing short of dying. It's half as lonesome as the sound of the sleeping city sidewalk. Sunday morning coming down. Sleeping city sidewalk. Sunday morning coming down. Hey, Chris Christopherson. My hero, Chris Christopherson, of course, wrote that, and Johnny Cash made it famous. It's a great story. Chris told me that he was invited, I think it was his first national TV appearance was on the Johnny Cash show around 1971, and 70 or 71. And they were going to do that song together. And Johnny just loved that song, but Johnny had gotten a message from the network. The producer probably of the show basically pulled Johnny Cash aside and said, "Look, you can't say stoned. That's just not going to happen." And And of course, Johnny Cash being Johnny Cash, part of him really wanted to rebel, you know, and the other part, he didn't want to like lose his show. Like, you know, he had witnessed what happened with the Smothers Brothers and you know, the Doors on Ed Sullivan, and so, you know, he was like, what do I do? So he calls Chris, and he's like, Chris, look, the network really, they don't want us to use the word stoned, and I'm wondering if we could say, wishing Lord that I was home. And Chris tells Johnny, he says, well, John, that's not exactly the same level of desperation now, is it? So Johnny, they did it. They did it the way that it's written. And in fact, he looks right at the camera when he says it. And I guess the show ended up getting canceled, but I don't think it got canceled right then. So networks are weird that way. But, you know, it is what it is. I got to do the Tonight Show a bunch of times. That was really an experience, very fun and nerve-wracking, scary, all that stuff together, you know, all in one. The first time I did it, I was my song Lullaby was, yeah, I know, yeah, right. I'm gonna do it, don't you worry. I can't do it too soon, or you'll leave right after. But I had that song going. It was Thanksgiving night of 1998, and so Black Friday was the next day, and so Columbia Records, the label I was on, worked it out for me to do the Tonight Show that night, and we sold like 50,000 records the next day on Black Friday, and it pushed us over to gold record, and a really cool experience. But the other guest, the main guest on there that night was, there was Will Smith, who was an incredible person to just get to meet. What a presence. I had no idea. I mean, I've always liked Will Smith a lot, but when you meet him face to face, there's this magnetic, just unbelievable, positive energy that's just beaming from this guy. Really amazing. It was so cool to meet him. And then Cher was the other guest. And so I got to sing Lullaby and then look over at Cher sitting on the couch and sing Sonny and Cher, that line right to her. And she kind of like did a half smile, you know, she was like, yeah, whatever. But it was a fun experience. It was really, I had some good times during that massive amount of success I had in such a short amount of time. It was. All right, well, I'm going to do that. That was a #1 hit, by the way. It was a #1 pop hit, which I never expected I would ever have a pop hit. I'll tell you, Eddie knows that. I mean, I go way back in the kind of singer-songwriter folk, you know. I just wanted to play the good folk rooms around the country. That's all I really wanted, you know. And maybe get on some AAA radio, which was the kind of stations that would play what I thought was cool music, you know. But yeah, it ended up going to being a pop hit all over the world, and this song was a #1 Americana and AAA song years later, which accounted for hundreds of dollars in publishing. And not really, it did well. But and I love this song, and I wrote it. It started off with a few guys sitting around, and we were trying to write a song, and we came up with a whole other song that we didn't like. And but the verse of this song, the verses, especially the first verse, inspired me several years after. Glenn Phillips from Toad the Wet Sprocket had written this verse down, and I found it in my Word box, and I didn't recognize the handwriting, and it was because it wasn't mine. It was Glenn Phillips. And I lost count of the times I've given up on you, but you make such a beautiful wreck, you do. And I thought, oh man, that's a song. Why didn't we use that part right there? And you know, because we moved on to something else for the chorus, and it just didn't work out. And we all went to lunch or something, you know. So in 2005, I believe, I finished this song up with, and just as I was moving on to Vanguard Records, which I had a great run with Vanguard, Sugar Hill. What a cool label. I lost count of the times I've given up on you, but you make such a beautiful wreck, you do. Yeah, there's a tavern on the corner called the Milky Way, and you look so at home there, it makes me afraid. And at the dark end of this bar, what a beautiful wreck you are. When you go too far, a beautiful wreck you are, baby. Now all the plans that you had from 7 years ago, like all the promises you made, I watched them come and go. You put your keys in the car, but it would not drive. With your hands on the wheel, looking barely alive. Yeah, yeah. Hey, I'm still sitting here waiting on the passenger side. You to make up your mind. For you to make up your mind. At the dark end of this bar, what a beautiful wreck you are. When you go too far, beautiful wreck you are. What a beautiful, such a beautiful, beautiful wreck you are. What a beautiful, such a beautiful wreck. Now, 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 now. I've lost count of the times I've given up on you, but you make such a beautiful wreck, you do. Yeah, you make such a beautiful wreck, you do. Yeah, you do. You make such a beautiful wreck, you do. At the dark end of this bar, the beautiful wreck you are, baby. When you go too far, a beautiful wreck you are. What a beautiful, such a beautiful wreck you are. What a beautiful, such a beautiful Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Eddie. Thanks to Carol Edwards and Harvey Fleming. Hey, Harvey, how you doing? And April Boyette and Sandra Dubrowen and Bain Stormwater Management. Thank you so much. Catherine Lee Chrisman, thank you guys. Dory Erdman and Michael Brown, Jake Cullens, Arlene, thank you so much, and Roger, and Dorothy, and Joel, and Mary Nugent. I wonder if she's kin to Ted Nugent. Whenever I see that name, I automatically think Uncle Teddy. Carol Edwards and David Greer. Shout out to Lee Provencio, Marion's husband. and Hiram McDaniel from Knoxville, Tennessee, and Ann Cullens. And Andy from New Jersey. Thanks for tuning in, Andy. And, Anchored in You, dedicated to Lee's wife, Diana. Okay. And Westerns, Gunsmoke, Bonanza, and Pale Rider. Okay, right on. Those are good. Gunsmoke and Bonanza, great TV shows for sure, man. We did a thing with VH1 one time on the old set of Bonanza. It was really cool. I don't remember. It was some kind of just thing for people that worked for VH1, so it wasn't televised. But like a bunch of people showed up and played, and it was a big barbecue. But they had Miss Kitty's, not Miss Kitty's, what was her name on Bonanza? Was it Miss Kitty? Yes. They had that saloon and everything. It was kind of like this, it's like what you see, you know, where it's like half of a building, but that building was a whole building. And I'm trying to remember where it was, Nevada. Yeah, it was in Nevada. Very cool. Thank you guys so much for your generous donations. And all right, I can do Anchored in You for Diana. I wrote this in Berkeley, California. I was staying at my friend Joey Lent's place. Joey's an old hippie, the best sense of the word. He's just like the quintessential hippie. And this is 1997, and Joey was just such a sweet man. He had this cool venue right there on the edge of San Francisco and Berkeley, really, or just barely the edge of Oakland and Berkeley. And he was on Alcatraz Street, if you know where that is, Shalom. He's what was it called? It's this underground. The thing is it wasn't a venue that anyone knew about unless you were on a mailing list, because that's how hippies are. They don't want just everybody showing up. This one, it's called Strings. You ever heard of that? It's called Strings, and every Wednesday night they would have a show, and it was any kind of stringed instrument type show. So sometimes it would be, a quartet, like a string quartet. Sometimes it would be, Bolivian music, with charangas, and then they would have singer-songwriters and things like that occasionally. And Joey was a flamenco guitar player. He's still around, but he moved into the wilderness now. He's got him an off-grid place somewhere now, so he can do his thing. But he that's right, and he's gonna be ready. But he had bought this old rundown abandoned laundromat right there on Alcatraz and San Pablo. And it was really rough, man, right in that area. I remember when I first pulled up, I'm like, oh no, what in the world have I gotten myself into? Because there was no sign, and there were black curtains in the windows, and you didn't know what you were getting into, and it was like really scary kind of. And I had my dog Rhodey with me, and I was trying to figure out if this is a good idea for me to go into this place. But I knock on the door, and he opens the door, and he's like, hey man, welcome. And I was late getting there because I'd had a flat tire out in the desert getting there. And when I walk in, the room was filled. It was 200 people, and it was beautiful. I felt like I had all of a sudden gone back in time to about 1968. And it was just this wonderful, beautiful feeling, and just welcoming. And everyone clapped because I was late, and he had called someone to fill in for me while I was still getting there, and it was kind of a BYOB kind of deal, and smoke your own smoke and the whole thing, But everyone was being fed and had wine, and he had this old PA system. I don't know, it was so old, and it sounded so good and warm in there. And that was one of my favorite gigs I've ever done to this day, because it was just so sweet, and it was all just old hippies in there. They were all like the real deal from the time, And so I would stay with Joey. I ended up playing there several times, and back behind the venue, he had kind of done a makeshift. He had a place where he lived, and then he had a little guest cottage, and it was all kind of in the back, and he had taken a big wine barrel and made a hot tub out of it. And of course, he was growing all kinds of stuff back in the courtyard. And that one plant looked like a Christmas tree. I couldn't even believe it. But just a sweetheart. And anyway, I wrote this at Joey's place. I remember journaling the lyric, and then later the melody came, called Anchored in You. I am in motion. I am blue. And love is an ocean. I'm anchored in you. And I am a dreamer. So you sent me away. Well, sometimes we dreamers, we just get in the way. But I've always known, since I was a child, that the road is my home, and my spirit is wild. And I have my memories, and I've got lots of time, and I'm stoned in San Francisco with you on my mind. I have my memories, and I've got lots of time, and I'm stoned in San Francisco, you on my mind. Said I'm stoned in San Francisco. With you on my mind. 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 Thanks. All right, let's see here. I get asked a lot about the tuning. People that play guitar and they like this song, they ask, what are you tuning that to? And I usually tell them I don't know. I think it is actually. It's 2 G's at the bottom, so you do this kind of drone thing, and it makes absolutely no sense on this instrument. I was trying to make this thing sound like a dulcimer when I first wrote it. And then it developed into this other song altogether, but I was messing around with open tunings, and I wanted to have it sound kind of like an Appalachian dulcimer, which it doesn't. That's the weird thing about, though, when you're trying to make something up. A lot of times you're going for something and something else comes. You know, I'm grateful for that for sure. I'm grateful for this song. I've only not played it once at my shows. All these shows that I've done, thousands, I would imagine, between the time I wrote it and now. It was only one time that I didn't play this song. It was in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And I wanted to play the song. Clay Cook was on stage with me playing mandolin and keyboards and things like that. He's now in the Zac Brown band. If you know Clay, he's a local boy, and he's the funny one in the band. And we finished our set with Beautiful Wreck, and typically on that tour we were ending with Beautiful Wreck, and then we would leave the stage and the crowd would encore us back on with Lullaby. And so we'd kind of planned on that in Baton Rouge that night. And it had been a weird night anyway. It was a strange venue. It was typically a discotheque. And there was a big disco ball, and it was a strange deal. I love Baton Rouge, but this particular place was not the right place. And so when we left the stage, and there was no backstage or anything, we basically kind of had to hide behind the curtain. And there was like, a foot of room. And then there was a door to get out, and that's where the bus was. And so we finished Beautiful Wreck. Down, 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 down. Thank you, good night. And then we run off and we hide in the curtain, and the clapping goes. And now we're stuck. We don't know what to do. You don't just come back out and do another song, They didn't call you back out. So we went to the RV, and I call it a bus. I upgraded it, but it was an RV, and that was the only time, and it backfired because I had wanted to do it, but I didn't know how to really finagle that one, and the promoter didn't want to pay us because we didn't play it. And our tour manager and sound man at the time, Kip Connor, he's about 6'8". He weighed about 300 pounds at the time. I think he had to turn the guy upside down and shake the change out of his pockets. But yeah, we went to the RV, and then we heard a crowd outside of people wanted to hear that song. It was really weird. And I still remember, sign my wife's T-shirt, Bubba. And that was the one thing to this day about Baton Rouge. If I think Baton Rouge, I think sign my wife's T-shirt, Bubba. Anyway, a lot of people call it rockabye. It's called lullaby, but I'd already been in the dance for 10 years, and this one brought me to a whole nother dance, and a dance that I could not do for that long, but I enjoyed it. Y'all been so good to me tonight. Thank you. It's really been fun. Well, she grew up with the children of the stars in the Hollywood Hills and the Boulevard. Her parents threw big parties, everyone was there. They hung out with folks like Dennis Hopper, Bob Seger, and Sonny and Cher. But she feels safe now in this bar on Fairfax. From the stage I can tell that she can't let go and she can't relax. And just before she hangs her head to cry, I sing to her a lullaby. I sing everything's gonna be alright. Rockabye, rockabye. And everything's gonna be alright. Won't you rockabye, rockabye, rockabye. She still lives with her mom outside the city, down that street about a half a mile. And all her friends tell her that she's so pretty. She'd be a whole lot prettier, you know, if she'd smile once in a while. But you know, even her smile, it looks just like a frown. She's seen her share of devils in this angel town. And everything's gonna be alright. Rockabye, rockabye. And everything's gonna be alright. Won't you rockabye, rockabye, rockabye. I told her, I said, I ain't so sure about this place. It's hard to play a gig in this town and keep a straight face. Seems like everybody's got a plan. It's kind of like Nashville with a tan. Everything's gonna be alright. Rockabye, rockabye. Everything's gonna be alright. Won't you rockabye, rockabye. Everything's gonna be alright. Rockabye, yeah. Oh, rockabye. And everything's gonna be alright. Yes, it is. So rockabye. And say bye-bye, baby. Say bye-bye. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. All right, thank you. Thank you so much. What a pleasure. Thank you, guys. Thanks to Shalom, sound engineer extraordinaire up there. Thanks to Corey on lighting. All the volunteers working here at Eddie Owen Presents. Thanks to Eddie. We've been together a long time, and thank you so much, old friend. Thank you to the audience that showed up tonight and took a chance. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks for watching at home. And this wraps up a month of Sundays here at the Red Clay Foundry. And I'll be back at the house next Sunday doing my live stream. And we're going to plan something else, though. And I do have a couple of birthday shows right here in March, early March. I believe we have the 5th and the 6th. First weekend in March. We'll be back here, and hopefully we can get a few more people in here by then. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you.